I'm Shashi.
And I'm Jeff.
We're the organizers of Portland Startup Weekend.
Our next event's coming up April 27th through 29th, and we'd love to see you there.
Check us out at portland.startupweekend.org.
Patricia Marchetti. I'm the CEO and co-founder of EarthTechling.
And I'm Nino Marchetti, the other co-founder, editor-in-chief, and president of EarthTechling.
Describe what EarthTechling is, what you guys do.
Green technology news for consumers. We are one of the largest clean tech publications now on the internet, the largest green publication in Oregon. And we are innovating on ad technology now to figure out how to make online media, work revenue-wise.
Where do you see the bulk of your reader base coming from? Is it all over the world? Is it localized? What do you see?
The bulk of our reader base is US based, but we do get a significant readership from Europe, parts of Asia. And as far as the United States goes, we see a lot of readership from Oregon, from California, from New York. So a lot of places where there's clean tech innovation going on and people are curious to know about what's happening in their backyard. Our most popular topic these days is renewable energy. So we write a lot of stories around everything from the big scale utility wind projects that are going on in different states to the quirky solar gadgets that people are building in their garages. And our readers tend to be interested in both types of stories.
Give a little bit of the history of how you guys came to this project and what motivated you to get into this industry.
We took a look around the internet in 2009 and felt like there was a big gap in what we saw as green and technology coverage for consumers. There were really big publications out there like CNN that would cover like a tiny amount of green technology. You had smaller niche blogs that would cover it to a certain extent. And then you had just really unapproachable business publications that would cover renewable energy topics for the professional set. But there's all this innovation and interest and investment going into clean technology. The big renewable energies from solar, through to things happening, with the car companies and electric cars. And there wasn't really a good publication out there talking about that. And so our own passion for sustainability and the environment led us to found this, publication. And so it works out great because Nino had an editorial and a writing background, and I had a marketing and advertising background. And so we basically paired those strengths together and said, we can nail this. We can absolutely do this.
What's it like being a blog in the kind of startup environment?
Sure, absolutely. It's we get that question a lot. The first is that, we see it more as a news organization, and we see ourselves now, as we've evolved over the last few years, as an ad technology startup in some ways, where, every publisher on the internet now is challenged to find ways to make revenue work, be that the New York Times implementing a paywall or people finding ways of generating revenue through events, etc. And so for us, that means, going out and inventing the next generation of ad technology, pairing that with great content and watching it take off and scale across the web. And so for us, it's more of a mindset, I think, of, we don't just see ourselves as a blog. We see ourselves as this, growing news organization that will one day be the environmental Huffington Post.
And we have, besides myself, we have a managing editor on staff. And then we have a dozen and growing freelancers writing for us from around the world. Most are here in the US, but we also have contributors from Israel and New Zealand, among other places. And they're all writing on this clean technology topic for consumers, breaking it across 8 topic channels and trying to explain to them what's interesting and innovative about these different avenues and how it can apply to their lives. And so, as a media publisher, being in the technology space, it's interesting, as Patricia was saying, we're developing our own ad technology, but I think as a media publisher as well, we're trying to figure out how we move through this space. It is interesting sort of being where we are here in Portland and finding ourselves in a unique situation of being one of the only digital media startups in town.
What surprised you most about your path with this project?
That we absolutely love working together. And I say that because so often the comment I get from people is, oh my God, you went into business with your spouse. You must be crazy. And the truth is we work really well together. You know, Nino and the editorial team have a great skill set that they bring to the table, and I don't have the time or the talent to do what they do. On the flip side, he would rather not have to go and, you know, pitch the advertisers on a weekly basis and do that. But those are skills that I bring to the table. And so I think that the first is that it was surprising. We work great together. The second is that it actually made our marriage stronger. Because when you're in a business, you have to communicate very, very well. And there's no, I'm going to take out the trash and then get to it a week later, you know, which can happen, you know, at home. And, you know, for us, it's everything, you know, is about communication in the office. You know, every day, you know, we have a meeting at the end of the day for 15 minutes. We update each other on anything that has to happen. And, you know, beyond that, we have a life at home, you know, and those skills I think that you know, hone when you are a startup entrepreneur, you know, they translate actually really well to making your marriage better.
What advice do you have to somebody sitting there today who's looking to pursue something like what you guys have built?
I love being a startup entrepreneur. I think that digital media is not the easiest field to do it in and to make money. It requires a lot of commitment. And my best advice to anyone is just start writing, you know, and start writing, you know, if you're going to be in digital media, just start writing that blog, you know, and you will find the natural place to transition. My advice to anyone, I would say I had one really good piece of advice for people who are, you know, looking to fundraise, which is something that I learned really recently from the Startup America partnership, is every VC you want to talk to is on Twitter. So go find them, go follow them, and tweet to them and talk to them and follow them, because you'll learn so much about their investment philosophy and who they are and what they're interested in, which will make you so much better at pitching them for funding later.
And I would add, on the side of writing content, would be write about something you're passionate about. You know, if you believe in environmental cause, write about that. If you believe in gadgets, write about that. If you are sincere in what you write and you're passionate about how you write it, readers will start to follow your site and start to pay attention to what you're producing. You know, when we started EarthTechling, it was just me doing the writing. And then a few months after that, we hired our first couple of freelancers, and, you know, we've grown the site to what it is today based upon the conviction of those people that are writing the material. Because, you know, it's not me or my managing editor sitting there pounding out 15 or 20 stories a day. It's about, you know, the collective voice of every writer we have. You know, we have content partnerships where some of our material is distributed on websites like Treehugger and Huffington Post and America Online. And, you know, those types of sites wouldn't be interested in what we were writing in unless they saw the passion in what we're putting down there. So it's all about how you put your voice into what you're putting on the digital media screen.